Hello. All right. Okay, Morgan's your Instagram live. Okay. And we are recording in 5, 4, 3. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Side Boob Happy Hour.
Welcome back, everyone.
How is everybody today?
I'm great. How are you? You're looking cute today with your little bandana.
Oh, thank
and
you.
And red lippy.
Thank you. I felt like being...
Look on Anna.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We got Morgan here, everybody, by the way.
Hello.
We got Morgan in the house. We had some serious technical fucking difficulties.
Oh my God.
Been working on it for about an hour. I wish we were more technically inclined, but between the four of us, it's just the blind leading the blind over here.
God.
Just can't get it together.
Technology hates me.
I mean, yeah, all of us.
I can't figure it out.
All of us.
I'm a big
Technology
dummy.
hates all of us, dude. It just fucking sucks. So, but also, I just think at this point, I think we need to find a new platform.
Yeah.
The sound has been fucking with us again. Like, we just barely got to the point where our sound was great, and then the sound is fucking up again. Like, if you listen to our recordings, if we're all laughing at once,
It cuts out.
yeah, it like mutes it.
That's
And-
why I think it's better if we just have Morgan on speaker.
Yeah, but even then, like, if the two of us are together and we start laughing, it fucks it up. So, yeah, it can't handle our laughing. And the
Not
world
many
wants
people
to hear
can.
our laughter. I mean, you know, they want to hear our laughter, right?
Everybody wants to hear some good chuckling.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we have Morgan on, you know, the old school way. She's on speakerphone because fucking Riverside was giving us shit. We couldn't get her in through the sound remotely. So she's just sitting here on the table on speakerphone. So, yeah. And, thank you for joining us, Joe at Family Sports Video. He's our number one fan. So thank you for that. Don't expect a whole bunch of you to be joining us at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, but that's okay because because we've been having so much trouble with the fucking sound. I post the live recordings on our Instagram. So watch us on fucking Instagram, watch us on our YouTube channel, you know, if the sound is too much for you. And in the meantime, we're trying to figure out posting on new platforms now because Spotify is just, it's not our friend lately.
No, not even on a good Titty Tuesday.
No. Oh, it is Titty Tuesday.
It is. I got my snaps.
Yeah, oh, did Annika send you some
Annika
snaps?
always, yes, and now, I mean, it just, and usually when I'm at work and I open it, there's
Yeah.
always guys walking around, whoa,
Yeah.
your lady's got
Is
some
that
nice
your lady?
tits. Oh, yeah, I know.
But the good news is that, let's see, next month, it's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
It is.
And then
And may the 4th be with you.
And may the 4th be with you, yes. And our incredible friend Morgs is going to be here
Oh my God, I can't wait.
in a little bit more than a month.
Yep.
It won't be too much longer now.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. May 1st, though, Mark Cosman turns 80 years old.
Holy shit.
Oh, your dad has the same birthday as my grandma.
May 1st.
What is it with my family having the same birthdays as Anna's family?
We all have the same birthdays. Everybody has the same fucking birthday.
And me and my family shared the same birthdays with the Connollys.
Yeah.
Me and Shannon are November 3rd, and Kelly and my mom are February 19th.
Yeah. I mean, we all have the same birthdays. And then let's see, is it Rylan that has the same birthday as Annika?
I think so.
Or is it, and then,
And
okay,
then Kyra has the same birthday as your brother.
as my brother.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, we share too much.
Yeah.
We're all just basically related at
Yeah,
this point.
at this
so
point.
we might as well just all be buried together and fuck it. And,
Yeah, fuck it.
and well, or we'll all be in the same mausoleum anyway because we're being cremated. Fuck that buried shit. I'm not gonna do that.
Oh,
so.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, enough farting around for now because we've
Farting
got
around.
a lot to get to. We got a lot to get to because y'all requested and we listened, and of course this makes our dear Morgan very happy. A lot of you wanted us to get into some true crime shit, and you know, I mean, we all love true crime.
Oh,
Carrie and I love
my
true
chick
crime.
brain loves
Yeah.
true. Just give me a good, like, nasty murder to fall asleep to.
Absolutely, and that's what I do too.
Come
I
out
fall
like a
asleep
light.
to it. It is comforting to me.
Oh, it's
I
weird.
love it. I fall asleep to it. It's my teddy bear. It
Yeah.
makes me comfy. It makes me nice and comfy. But our Morgan goes down some serious fucking rabbit holes.
Yeah, she does.
Some serious fucking rabbit holes. And why don't we just go ahead and start, since now I didn't even realize that the first Karen Reed trial was a mistrial.
Yeah.
I thought she was acquitted.
Oh, no, that was a mistrial.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that, because now she is, we're now on the first week. Today marks 1 week of her second trial.
Yeah.
Why was she not acquitted the first time?
The Supreme Court just denied her, her offer to get the case dropped, so.
And see, this is what I don't understand is, okay, I'm not a fan of Karen Reed.
I think she's hot, much like I think Casey Anthony's hot.
Of course you think she's hot, yes. I'm not a fan of her. I think she's smug.
Yeah,
I think she's
kind of
arrogant. I think she's a bitch. But that does not a murderer make.
No.
Right? I mean, all of that emotion shit aside, like, I don't like her as a person. But even if she is guilty, there's just not enough evidence.
No.
I don't see the evidence showing that she fucking killed John O'Keefe.
I think the only thing she's guilty of is drunk driving.
Yeah, well, yeah, they all are. They all are. John was fucking blitzed that night. I know that Morgan sent the BAC levels for Karen and John that night, which that shit I don't understand. But I showed it to Adrian, he was like, holy fuck, that dude was lit up.
Yeah, yeah. It was 0.12 or something.
Is that what it was? 0.12?
I think so, but
Okay.
I mean, that's like...
And what's crazy is this case could just be simply him slipping and falling and hitting his head.
And I think that's what happened.
That is what okay, so in reviewing this case the second time around, that is what I have come to now.
Yeah.
I think this is a fucking accident. I still think fucking snowplow, I think this was a crazy ass accident, is what I think it is.
Or he just slipped on some ice in the driveway and cracked his dome and...
Sure.
Yeah. That's it, man.
Absolutely.
You get a subdural bleed or a basilar skull fracture.
Yeah,
You're fucking done.
But when it comes to like reading the text messages back and forth between Karen and John, I can't take it. I have to turn it
Oh,
off.
God.
She's awful.
Yeah.
She's awful. Just wah, 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 wah. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the guy killed himself.
Oh, shit. Well, he's probably like, God damn, I'm glad I'm dead.
Seriously. She
I don't
was
have to-
She
terrible.
just went with her gut feeling and just didn't hang out with John that night. Like, she was standing her ground and saying, I don't think we should hang out tonight. That
Well,
would have been the best.
Oh, it would have been better for her, yeah. 'cause
yeah,
then
it
she
would have
never
been
would
better for her.
She never would have
Yeah.
been placed at the crime scene.
Now, Morgan, tell me a little bit about, because when I was watching the YouTube live coverage of her trial this time around, and I was reading some of the comments, there were people that were talking about, and I'm actually kind of surprised at how many people think that she's guilty. I was really surprised on that. But there were a lot of people commenting on the forensic analysis of the reverse from her car.
Oh.
Do you know anything about that? That like they had pulled the records from her car, which I didn't even know was possible for someone to do that. That they had shown that night that her car went in reverse for 20 feet or something at 26 miles an hour. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, they brought in a state police officer through Massachusetts that claims he's an expert. And he just seemed very unqualified on the stand to have the expertise of the data that came from the car. Like, it was really bad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I never backed up a vehicle going 25 miles per hour.
That's fast.
Well, yeah. You're throttled down, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
26 miles an hour reversing is fast.
And then if she hit him, like, where I am thrown off with the whole he was hit by a car theory is there's just absolutely no bruising on John O'Keefe's body. Like, not on his legs, not on his chest, not even on his arm. It's just scratches, and it looks like puncture wounds. They're like lacerations, but there's no bruising to the arm. Like,
Yeah, it's not like
he's not
you didn't
black
get
and blue, like
he got run
even
over.
post-mortem, right?
Right.
If that's what you would call it.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no bruising. The only bruising you see are on the back of his hands, but they're saying that was IV attempts.
Okay.
Shit, okay.
So, friend of the show and our friend Cassie says, dude, Van and I, that's her sister, met one of the dad's friends in St. Louis that lives there. He said that the town is very divided and that the friends that were in the house got rid of their phones.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, they got rid of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
They went on
Thank
a
you, Cass.
military base and tore up the SIM card and threw away the phones a day before they were asked by the courts to turn in their phones.
Right. And that is a little sketchy, definitely.
The whole Albert side of the story is sketchy. There's just too many coincidences. There's butt dials that were made and answered at like 2 a.m. Phones were just discarded. If there was a dead body found on your property and the victim was invited to your home and you were hanging out with the victim, like, wouldn't that be probable cause to search your home?
Well, yeah, because it's a crime scene.
Sure. Yeah. If
it's a
someone's
dead,
found
or it's
dead,
a, or it's a dead body. I mean, there's going to be some sort of death invest.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, none of the interrogations were like recorded. They didn't search the house. Nothing. Like even the Alberts didn't come out of their home to see and talk to the police and see what was going on in their front yard. They stayed inside.
I heard that they were being intimate when all this went down. that was one of the stories.
Was there like a giant orgy going on in there?
Well, no, just them two were like in the bedroom getting it on.
Oh, okay.
When poor John was freezing his nuts
Well, because
off.
with cops, they get freaky. So
Oh, yeah.
you never know.
Yeah. The keys are placed at the end of the table.
Yep.
With the upside down pineapples and all that bullshit.
And this whole case is just weird. And the sad thing is that, everyone is so concentrating on, okay, like, it's a huge conspiracy with the cops, and Karen did it, or Karen didn't do it. And it's just like, this poor dude died somehow. Like fucking, just random like dead body flopped on the fucking lawn in these people at this people's house, and like we're never gonna find out what happened to this guy. That's the thing that sucks.
I know.
And I mean that's the horrible part about this. And like, do I believe that Karen Reed is guilty? No, I do not.
I don't think so.
But do I believe there's this whole huge conspiracy to frame her? No, because why?
I think the people were getting rid of their phones and doing all that shit just because they were like, I don't want any part of this.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
fuck this.
Yeah.
This guy died at my house. I don't want to get sued.
Sure.
I don't want to get dropped by my homeowner's insurance or whatever.
I don't believe that a dog had anything to do with it.
I don't think so.
That's not. And again, I keep saying that, but I will die on that hill. Those marks are not made from a dog. Dogs don't attack with their claws. Those marks aren't. They're not parallel like canines. They're just not. Those aren't dog marks, dude. And then, if they were dog bites, then the clothing would be in the tissue of the skin. Mm-hmm. And that didn't seem to be the case. So and again, when that other forensic veterinarian said that there was no canine DNA found on him. Mm-hmm. So that just throws that fucking theory right out the window.
Right. I think it's just a simple. He's fucking drunk.
Yeah.
Walks outside, slips and falls, hits his head. She's already gone.
Yeah.
And then her taillight damage. They said that she backed into something at her house. At her house.
Yeah.
And that's where that happened.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think she was a pain in the ass.
For sure.
Just annoying.
For sure.
Fucking angry fight picker bitch.
Fuck yeah, dude. She wanted to start shit. She wanted to sabotage it, and a lot of women are like that.
Oh.
Unfortunately, a lot of women are like that. Like, is she hot? Yeah.
She's hot, so I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
But then you got to draw the line.
But you can tell, like, when they're reading those text messages, he's just like, okay, Karen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Karen.
all right.
Okay, whatever you say, whatever you want to do. He was just like, fuck, man, whatever I can say to get you to shut up right now. That's literally what it seemed like to me.
Yep.
It just
and her voicemails after she left and went back to John's house doesn't sound like a girl that just hit him on purpose.
No, but she was calling him a pervert a million times.
She was, I mean, the way that she was talking to him, like, I know that, we are all guilty of saying shitty things to our significant others. But But that's some toxic shit, right? I've never talked to Adrian like that.
I've never talked to anybody.
I mean, the way that she talked to him, like, no wonder, like, he was trying to find a way to get out, dude. I mean, like, that's some hardcore shit. You don't talk to your loved one like that.
No.
That's abusive.
Yeah.
You don't talk. I mean, that's the way. Yeah. No wonder. I just have to say no wonder. Like, I mean, I know she was drunk and everything like that, but no, she has some shit to learn about, healthy relationships.
Just have a little tact.
And how to talk to people.
Have a little more.
The only question that I do have about Karen Reed is that if I were to drop off my boyfriend and he's supposed to come back to let us know that we should all go in, and he doesn't respond, I would have gotten out of the car and knocked on the door and been like, are we staying or going?
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done.
Yeah.
I don't know why
she didn't do that. Like, she just took off all pissed off.
Well,
but you know what, that's
out of the house.
But that's like the standard bitch move, dude.
That's like, fuck you, you're taking too long.
And then leaves that shitty ass voice.
Yes, and then goes home and fucking just,
Fuck you, John, you asshole. I hate you, you fucking pervert.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
she was an angry bitch, man.
yeah, drama.
Yeah, just wanted the drama. And,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really too bad that she's on trial right now, because regardless of any of that, again, I don't think that the prosecution has produced enough evidence to show that she's guilty of anything.
No. I think they're hanging on that she's hammered and comes back and is like, oh my God, did I hit him? And she was asking the question, did I hit him? So they're just like, oh, okay. She
Hanging
thought
on
she hit
that.
him.
That's the only thing that they have, it seems like. Is, oh, did I hit him? Did I
Yeah.
hit him? They're just hanging on that every word, man. That's what they're doing, which is sad.
Yeah, but this police investigation, I mean, was god awful. I mean, collecting blood samples in Solo cups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Ring cameras across the street and at the homeowners that so happen were not working that night. And then what else? Then they didn't find the tail light until like a month after, like maybe it was less than a month, but where the tail light was found, it was by the fire hydrant. If you look at a picture of the crime scene, there's a fire hydrant and then there's a flagpole. So the physics of like her maybe backing into the, what do you call it, the fire hydrant, there would still be a dent on her bumper if she hit a fire hydrant.
Oh,
There
for
was
sure.
Yeah.
Or she would have knocked it over.
Yeah.
If you run into a hydrant.
Yeah.
That's a...
Yeah, this case is still ongoing. I hope they find her not guilty, because like I said, I mean, the jury has to determine, the prosecution has the, what do they call it, the burden of proof, right? They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person is guilty.
I don't think they can.
And they don't have it. There hasn't been any kind of smoking gun anywhere in this case that shows like, oh hey, look at this massive piece of fucking evidence that shows that she did this. There hasn't been any of that.
If only those damn Ring cameras were working,
I
you
know.
would have seen what
I
happened.
know. And honestly, the more that I watch this case, the more I'm like, you know what? I bet you this is some tragic accident. Something happened that he fucked himself up somehow. Maybe another car fucking ran over his head. I don't know. I mean, I know that the wounds are not consistent with, him being run over by a car, but something happened. And I don't think it had anything to do with the Alberts. I don't think it had anything to do with her. I think some kind of accident happened, and I think that's where we're at. And I know that people are super divided over this, but that's how these cases go, right? It's either you're on one side or you're on the other.
Or maybe he did go in that house and found out that Brian Higgins was hooking up with Karen.
Yes,
Ooh.
I heard something about that. Yes,
Oh, yeah,
that,
they-
Brian, Karen's, and Higgins had like this flirting thing.
They had a little flirty text, like
Yeah.
sexting and titty shots and
Yeah.
dick pics and whatever.
But I thought that Karen like kind of ghosted him after a while. That like he was.
Wait, Brian Higgins was texting Karen that night at the bar.
Okay.
Oh.
So, because she was avoiding him, and so he texted her like, "So what's up?" or something, and she wouldn't respond. So I wonder if John went in there to confront Higgins there's definitely a motive there.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah, I
I
forgot
didn't
about
realize
that.
Brian Higgins was in the house.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, and then
They were all
went
partying.
to the police station at 1 a.m, said he went back to work at 1 a.m, drunk.
Oh, yeah, 'cause that's what I do.
Oh
I go
my
back
gosh.
to work
Yeah.
drunk.
These cops are terrible.
Oh, my God.
Good grief. Okay, well, on that note, and again, this trial is still ongoing. I just hope that at some point they just say not guilty. That's what needs to happen here. Because whether you think she is or whether you think she isn't, they're just not producing the evidence here. And that's all there is to it.
Or if it's
I
100.
just wish they had like a DUI charge instead of like claiming, having manslaughter on the table with DUI.
Right.
I think it's just a simple DUI. If you want to find her guilty of something, then that's the only thing I would agree to.
Yeah.
She was definitely drunk while driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can. And she admits it.
Yeah, she
On
does.
an interview.
She does. Yeah. She does. All right. Well, let's move on to Morgan's hero, Luigi Mangione. So there's this whole movement now amongst some of the TikTok crowd to free Luigi Mangione. So why do we want to free Luigi Mangione? Why should he be acquitted of murder?
Well, one, he's a beautiful.
Yeah, see? Oh, Karen Reed and Luigi, let them go, man. They're hot.
As long as they're hot, they should be acquitted.
Like,
Yeah.
cougering it over how handsome this guy is, but no, I think that the outrage is the amount of money we pay our health insurance companies, and they're not covering
Sure.
procedures.
Sure.
I think there was one that wanted to not cover half of like the time you're on anesthesia.
Oh, yeah. We will pay for 6 hours of anesthesia, but if you go over that, that's on you. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think they
know.
wanted
Yeah,
to do
but
that.
you pay a monthly premium, and then you have a co-payment, and that's what insurance is there for, to prevent you from going into massive medical debt. I mean, that's why you pay a premium.
Right.
And these insurance companies are fucking over their customers, and I think that's where the outrage of this whole scenario, I think it's just people speaking out that they're getting fucked over by their insurance company, and finally someone just went out and
Fucking.
got a CEO to make a statement.
Yeah, and I understand that aspect of it. Now, I obviously don't agree with, handling it the way he did, but this is all insurance companies. And unfortunately, this is the unfortunate part of insurance, is that we pay heavy premiums every month to have health insurance, under the blanket assumption that if something goes wrong, if we have a heart attack or break a leg or whatever the case may be, that our health insurance is going to cover that. But surprise, they don't.
Yeah.
So, and we end up paying even more because they don't cover it. So what the fuck are we paying for every month? And what the fuck is the point of having health insurance? And then in some cases too, if you don't have health insurance, then you get a discount. And for those of us who pay for health insurance, we end up paying more than people who do not have health insurance. So what the fuck is the point of any of this? So I get it. I get why people are mad, and I get why, there's this Luigi Mangione movement. I understand that. However, going off and shooting someone is not going to be, the best way of handling that. That's not going to solve anything. Insurance companies, they're serpents, man.
All insurance, but your homeowners, your health insurance.
Yeah.
I have a PPO, but if I go out of network, well, I'm on the hook. Like, even if I go to Jen, my chiropractor, she doesn't take insurance.
Yes.
I mean, it's not that much. It's what, $170, and she hooks it up, right? But so I have to get the super bill from her, submit it to my insurance and then wait a month. And sometimes those idiots, like, they don't code it the right way and it gets kicked back.
Yes.
And then,
Yes.
and they just drag their feet, like, okay, well, yeah, you'll get reimbursed in, like, a month.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, then what?
Maybe.
Then why do I have a PPO?
Right. What's the point?
Like, dude, that's, yeah.
What's the point? I know. It's
Yeah, even on, like, let's say Medicaid, right? Like, free government-issued health insurance, right? Like, I had no idea, but, like, after my mom had to get on Medicaid for hospice care. And then once she passed away, Medicaid, any estates that's under your name, any estate, any money that you have in the bank, Medicaid will go after that. So you
Yes.
can't leave an inheritance.
Right.
Medicaid
Yes.
wants to be paid back.
yeah, because they want their money back.
Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
That is how this works. And, you know, for all of the folks that are saying, oh, well, you know, America is behind because other countries have free healthcare, you know, free healthcare is not better
That's dog shit.
than what we have.
It's like Kaiser.
It's not.
It's fucking low budget.
I've spoken to people in my office. We have a psychologist who came from a country where they offer quote unquote free healthcare. And if you find out that you have cancer, you have to wait 6 months, sometimes more, to see a specialist.
Shit. Well,
Okay, it doesn't. Free healthcare is not better.
no.
It's not. If you break your leg and have to see like an orthopedist or fucking whatever, some kind of specialist, again, you have to wait and wait and wait to see a specialist. It's not better than what we have here. Free healthcare is it's not the way to go.
If it's free, it's shit.
You get what you pay
That's
for.
exactly. That's what
That's
Mom always
that's
said.
what that's what there is. I mean, it's they don't have it any better than we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just end up having to pay for a bunch of shit and then pay more. They end up having it free, but then they don't get the care that they need. So, you know.
Yeah, you're dead in 6 months. So some
Exactly.
cancer, it's like, okay, cool, we'll just
Exactly.
wait it out.
Yeah, exactly. So
Or you're $100,000 in debt here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's
And then once you die, the creditors still want it to be paid back.
yep. They start going after your family members and shit. Yeah, it's fucked up. So it's just crazy to me that these people are like they're trying to free Luigi Mangione, and his attorney now is also trying to do this thing where she's trying to blame the cops for what they're going after the cops, saying that the cops were the one that fucking wrote his manifesto.
What?
I know.
Okay. That's
I
a
know.
little
I'm
much.
like, really? Like, I understand that, you know, that the country is very divided over law enforcement right now, but come on, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
really?
Cops,
okay.
The cops aren't burning calories doing that
Come
bullshit.
on, man. Like, it's just, it's really, it's getting old, people. It's really getting old here. Like, and again, that's what defense attorneys always seem to do, is that their job is to prove that their client is innocent, right? And so many defense attorneys love to do that, just like Karen Reed's attorneys. They're trying to find someone else to pin it on instead of proving that their client is innocent. They find someone else to pin it on. In both cases, they're finding law enforcement to pin this on. And people eat that shit up. They love it.
Oh yeah, they love it.
So, yeah, unbelievable. Free
Well, but
Luigi.
Karen Reed is a little bit different because it does show that these cops were all friends and covering it. I mean, they were covering their asses.
It's a different story.
I think those cops they're covering their ass. 'Cause
They- yeah.
they don't want any issues going down at the house, and they don't want any issues at work.
Yes.
So they're just like, dude,
They
I don't want
just
to
don't
get,
want to be involved.
I don't want to get time off.
Yeah.
I don't want to get sucked into this bullshit. You know, whatever.
Yeah, and this fucker's pleading not guilty.
Luigi? He's like, I was hopped up on pain meds because my back was fucking hurting.
He wasn't the smartest guy. I mean, to have all that stuff on him, and how long was he a fugitive there? Like a couple weeks, right?
Wasn't it 5 days? I thought it was 5 days.
It was a few days, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then he had all that time to get rid of all that stuff.
Yes,
like,
he did.
I don't understand why
He
he
did,
would hold
yeah.
on to it. Like, it was all still in his backpack, like the 3 printed gun and
Yeah,
his manifesto, and
yeah.
I don't know.
He could have gotten rid of all of that, but instead he just, runs over to a McDonald's and
Yeah.
gets himself caught.
Yeah.
Oh,
hot though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have it all. Can't be hot and super smart.
Yep. Okay, well, we actually finally now have an update on our friend Scott Peterson.
Our friend, my uncle.
Yeah.
He's so fucking guilty. It's unbelievable.
Oh no.
You know,
Oh yeah.
Old Scotty boy, who's just couldn't keep his dick in his pants.
yeah, that's what he's guilty of. And actually, I had a very long text message argument with a friend of the show, JP, about this. Because he thinks that Scott is guilty also. Most of the world thinks that Scott is guilty.
Sure.
I understand why that is. Because again, this is a case that involved a lot of emotion. There was a lot of fucked up shit going on.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That's fine. I will stand by my opinion that he is innocent. Again, because for the same reason that I feel that Karen Reed is innocent, because there's just no evidence.
There's zero.
No evidence showing that he is guilty. The only thing that he's guilty of is being a shitty husband.
Yeah. Fucking around on your pregnant wife.
Exactly.
Bad form.
Exactly. And, you know, the LA Innocence Project, they don't just take on cases. There's a billion people on death row right now, and they're not taking on every single person convicted of murder. They're only going to take on cases that they feel that they can confidently solve. In the case of Scott Peterson, they have recently said that they have that there is DNA involved. So I think that what they have, and this is me speculating. We don't know anything yet, but what I think they have, what I hope they have, is they got a hold of the van that
the mattress in
belonged
the
to
back.
the robbers.
Right.
And that there is DNA that belonged to Lacey in that van.
Yeah.
That's what I hope they have.
Because they found that van, like, someone torched it, right? But it didn't burn all the way, and, like, the back part of it.
I'm not sure if it was torched.
Okay.
But those robbers were arrested. So for those of you, let's back up a little bit. So for those of you who aren't familiar, during the time of Lacey Peterson's disappearance, there were a string of robberies in their neighborhood. And there were 2 men arrested. And one of the theories is that Lacey was taken by these robbers because maybe she walked up on them while she was walking the dog. And because Lacey was a tiny little spitfire,
She was talking shit.
she probably
Like,
was
what are
like,
you
hey,
doing
what the
there?
fuck are you doing? Because she might have caught them breaking into one of her neighbors' homes or something like that. Plus, there was a witness who saw Lacey, someone matching Lacey's description, being loaded up in so that's where that comes from. Those 2 men were arrested and later on exonerated of, being suspects for Lacey's disappearance. But they did have that van, which I believe is still in police custody. So I think that that's what the LA Innocence Project has.
Oh,
because I know that it has something to do with DNA. So I am hoping that this case is going to be moving, because he's been in prison
20 years?
for a long time.
Yeah. Over 20, 25? When
It's-
did it?
Let's see here. I'm not sure exactly when he went to prison. Let's see here. He was, despite the lack of any physical evidence connecting him to the crime.
God damn.
He went missing on Christmas Eve 2002. So he's been in prison probably since like 03, 04, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been in there for a while. And that's the problem, is that there is zero physical evidence tying him to this crime. If anything, it is circumstantial and it is emotional.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that they come up with something really good and that he's exonerated.
So her body washes up exactly kind of where he was fishing, or
It wasn't exactly.
It was
wasn't
down-
exactly where he was fishing.
So the body, the only thing that was recovered was her torso, right? And the fetus?
Yes.
Right.
Her torso washed up, and then the fetus washed up like a little while later. Because she was like anchored down, I believe.
The theory was that she must have had anchors around her neck and her limbs, and then that once you've been in the water that long and stuff starts decomposing and stuff, then that part sunk and then her torso floated down.
Right. So according to the LA Innocence Project at News Nation, and this is great. So this group said the new evidence includes a new modeling showing the bodies of Lacey and Connor could not have migrated from the area where Peterson went fishing in the San Francisco Bay to where they washed up on shore. Rather, their bodies were most likely placed in the waters off the Albany Bulb, a peninsula that is accessible by car and not on foot. New sworn statements by eyewitnesses who reported seeing Lacey walking the dog in the neighborhood after Peterson left their home to go fishing. So, right? Because these are the same fucking witnesses.
Yeah.
Police
all the neighbors.
allegedly ignored these witnesses. The police, those two cops that are always, they do every documentary. There are two cops that do every fucking documentary that you'll see about Lacey Peterson. They say, we followed up with them. But the witnesses are like, no, they didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah. An analysis by a certified forensic document examiner who analyzed handwritten notes from the Petersons' home with information from 2 marine supply stores about the cost of anchors that appear to be consistent with Lacey's handwriting. This could disprove the prosecution's theory at trial that Scott had secretly purchased the boat as part of his plan to dump Lacey's body. Now, we know that he didn't secretly purchase the boat.
No, she knew about it.
Because where he kept it in storage, the dude who owned the storage place was actually interviewed and said, no, he brought Lacey with him.
Yeah.
She knew about it. And there was camera footage showing Scott and Lacey there together.
Yeah.
So she knew about it. New evidence showing a Modesto home across the street from the Petersons was burglarized on December 24th, the same day Lacey was reported missing, and not 2 days later on December 26th as the jury was told.
Why? Oh, yeah, see. Why was the jury told
And didn't they also find, like, homemade anchors, like, made out of cement with chains?
No. They thought they found remnants of that.
Yeah, like,
when they went into Scott's storage facility, the cops found like powder and shit that looked like there may have been anchors made, but they did not find anchors.
Yeah.
So they assumed that he was making anchors there. But remember, Mark Garagos performed those experiments on Scott's boat. And it kept capsizing. He couldn't have brought all of that weight onto his boat. It wasn't made for that much weight. But that evidence was not allowed in trial. He made videos of the boat capsizing over and over and over again if he would have brought the anchors and Lacey's dead body with him onto that boat. And it kept capsizing over and over again.
Because Lacey, even though she was small, when she was pregnant, she was about 150 pounds.
I think they, estimated about 145 pounds.
And then you add these 4 anchors, allegedly.
Yeah.
And this dude is trying to flip, and he just had a dummy. He didn't even have, like, anchors and stuff, but, like, how are you going to clean and jerk that shit over in that little tiny boat, and the thing kept flipping over?
Yeah, and not only that, but the dude, the dock master, I still don't know if that's the right word for it, saw Scott launch his boat that day.
And he had nothing in there.
With no anchors, with no dead body, just his tackle, just his fishing shit.
Right.
That's
but everybody kind of hangs on the cops were asking him what he was fishing for, and he stated all these, like, lures that you take in saltwater fishing. He was in a freshwater spot. Right. But it's like, that proves my theory of, look, he drove up to the Berkeley Marina so he could jerk off and talk to Amber, and then launch his boat. Then, oh yeah, babe, I'm out fishing. Blah blah blah.
Just because he hadn't been fishing in a few years, just because he didn't really know what he was doing, that doesn't say shit.
No,
that doesn't prove shit. I mean, I'm sorry, but this case is about to blow up. Dude.
Scott was just trying to not get caught. Like, oh my god,
right?
I've been fucking around on my pregnant wife.
Yep.
If people find out, like, I'm fucked.
Exactly. And that's why he was acting weird. For everyone who says, oh, he was acting so weird when she was missing and during the candlelight vigil and during this and during that. Yeah, he was acting weird because this was national news and he knew that his in-laws were about to find out that he had a side piece. That's why he was acting weird.
And that's why he was acting weird.
Yes. I mean, that's what there is to it. And I'm excited. I'm excited for him to get out of prison. I hope that they exonerate him because he's been in there way too long. and I've always been saying this dude is innocent. So let's keep it going, guys. Let's support free Scott Peterson. Free Scott Peterson.
Yeah, get him
I mean,
out
I'm
of there.
telling you, go down this Scott Peterson rabbit hole. Even in the documentaries that are biased against him, still, there's no evidence showing anything. Nothing. Just that they concentrate on the fact that
He's cheating.
was banging Amber Fry.
Yeah.
But there's no, even before that, there's nothing showing that he was like a shitty husband or anything like that, you know? I mean, other than the fact that he started banging someone else. Like, there wasn't, like, abuse or anything going on.
I think he was
know?
just, oh, God, my wife's fucking pregnant. Oh, my God, I'm probably stressed out about being a first-time dad, but now
He
this
was
hot
a
chick's
young,
into
handsome
me.
dude.
Yeah. And
One of the cops was dumb enough to say, oh, he was staring down the barrel of fatherhood and blah, blah, blah. No, he was banging a single mom. That doesn't make any sense. Why would he kill his pregnant wife
Right.
to leave her for a single mom? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. Everybody's stupid here. Okay. Anyhow, we could have 3 episodes on that. But let's fucking talk about Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, God.
Morgan, what's your thoughts on this?
This one I have not followed, so I don't have any input on that one.
Okay. Carmelo Anthony. His family, and he, even though, so for those who aren't familiar, Carmelo Anthony, is the 17-year-old student, who stabbed, Austin Metcalf
Oh, yes. Okay, never mind. Now I know what you're talking about.
Yes, he stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Texas. Now, Carmelo, when he was picked up by the cops that day, he told the cops it was not self-defense.
Oh, he did?
But then later changed his story.
Oh,
He
shit.
later said to the cops, what would happen if I said it was self-defense? Like, basically, would I be in less trouble type of thing. Also, after he stabbed Austin, he ditched the knife.
Ooh.
So, that's not really someone who was...
No, I mean, if it's self-defense, you're going to stick around and be like, dude, this guy came at me.
Yes.
And fuck, I didn't mean to kill him, but
Yes.
fuck.
And
I was
get it,
scared.
like-
He was bigger than me, whatever.
Yeah, I get it. Like, he's a kid. He was young. He panicked. But also, Carmelo Anthony's family and that fucking reverend that's supporting him, they held a press conference afterwards in support of Carmelo. And Austin Metcalf's dad showed up to this press conference, which I think he had every right to.
Sure.
And they kicked him out.
Yeah. The reverend said it's so disrespectful to show up here. Okay, asshole.
Who has a criminal record of his own.
Right,
by the
because
way.
probably shaking babies and shit.
Yeah. This is shit all the way around. So, first of all, Carmelo Anthony's bail was set at $1 million. The judge reduced it to $250K.
Yep.
So then he was able to get out because they set up a GoFundMe for him. More money was raised for Carmelo Anthony than for Austin Metcalf's family.
Well.
And we want to talk about white privilege.
Yeah. There you go. There's white privilege, everybody.
Carmelo Anthony is now driving around in a new car.
Yep, he lives in a gated community. And
With all this money. And we're all, giving, we're just feeling sorry for Carmelo Anthony because this kid's a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
The story goes is that supposedly at this track meet, the weather was bad, it was raining, and Carmelo was under a tent or in a certain area that he wasn't supposed to be in.
Because it was the other teams. It's like if
Yeah.
CV and Hoover are
Right.
having a track meet, the Hoover guys hanging out in the CV tent.
Right.
So it's like, hey, beat
And
it.
so Austin and like a couple of his buddies were like, hey man, like you're not supposed to be here. And Carmelo was like, jumping bad with them. He was like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not moving.
make me or tie
And
dare
so
you.
I think Austin was the one who grabbed Carmelo's bag and like threw it and was like, dude, get out of here. You're not supposed to be here, after several times of telling him to leave.
Right.
And I think Austin pushed him
Probably.
and Carmelo stabbed him.
Yeah. And who the fuck's bringing a knife to a track meet?
Right?
That's
No,
why.
I think it was something for his cleats. It was like a cleat. I don't know.
Oh, that little thing that you change out your track spikes with? But that's not
Yeah.
sharp. That's just like almost like a little socket wrench type of thing.
I have no idea. That's what I was hearing on TikTok, but I don't. I from what I heard on TikTok, like no one agrees with Carmilla. I think even the Black community doesn't agree with him stabbing him in the chest.
I've seen a few angry Black, like the
I have too.
Hodge twins. And
Yeah.
some of these crazy people are like, oh yeah, well fuck it, it's about time.
Yeah, I've
Well,
heard.
damn,
Yeah,
okay,
I've
dude.
heard a couple angry, Black people saying Carmelo Anthony was right, sort of thing, and just the fact that the family kicked the dad out of the press conference. That's disgusting. That's in poor taste. The dad, and of course, you see the dad didn't stab anyone. He